How you guys been? It's been a minute. I'm still building up my kit here, and I gotta say, I'm a little bit washed out with these lights. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I need some pro help up in here. A better lighting. And I'm off angle right now. I can put this. Down here. This is an Anker camera, which very nice. Much more cost effective than the face cam, the Elgato face cam, which I have on my home setup. This is not my home. It's a auxiliary location, let's call it. That I have for doing some stuff. But yeah, it's been a minute since I streamed. Everything I've said, they'll stand behind. Nobody has contacted me to challenge any statements, opposing viewpoints, anything. I keep busy building up my kit. So I've got a DJI Flow something. It's automatic. Gimbal for a smartphone, and pretty neat stuff. Okay, first time using this Anker unit, another Anker device here. It's a conference, more business style Bluetooth microphone. A lot of streamers are going to be using a lapel microphone. You don't really need to, okay? New streamers, this is for you, not pros. Okay, pros they got the money to spend, they've got sponsorships, paying for the stuff for them, get your gear, have fun, okay? That's not what I'm trying to talk to. I'm trying to talk to a young, about to be a streamer, who, what's this? Hour on Bluetooth here. Point is, you don't need to go the way that they've gone. The new technology is totally different. I was talking to a streamer who's buying XLR equipment for their stream setup. You don't need XLR, okay? I have XLR because I have gear from 20 years ago. If you're new, don't buy fucking XLR. You don't need it, okay? Go digital. Go completely digital. Never take your signal analog. Never. Fucking never. Once it's out of the air, make it digital, move the digital. That's how pros fucking do it, guys. And anybody who wants to argue with me, show up and I'll dick slap them. Point is, we got young people trying to open up into. What the hell? It's like it can't connect. What? Did it automatically connect? There it is. Now I should be able to go here. Properties. You're on a microphone array for my laptop. And now you're on the power conference. Should be a much better audio signal. And it has 8 microphones. Should work for an entire circle of people. Other things I'm developing for my structure here. So, excuse the mess. This is kind of living in this space right now, if you can't tell. But one of the things that I'm going to do, and my family, this is a plan I'm excited about. Let me pull the chat up in case anybody does show up and tries to talk at me. Not likely, but it's possible. Okay. Anyways, My intention in my situation, I'm sharing this with you so you guys can take inspiration back to your and I've got space. Space is a wonderful thing. We have these chairs, and actually the nice part about these chairs is I have them up here. Some of my apartment. What are these chairs? Two is actually, I'm gonna arrange it so people can sit and chill and have a conversation, produce a digital media. Production has become so low cost. I can't believe we're not doing it more. Doesn't matter what you're producing. You don't have to be making something revolutionary. You are, while you're using this technology, you're developing a muscle memory. Let's talk about muscle memory and what it really is. How stupid American culture is. They understand that when it comes to something mechanical, practice creates precise control. They don't believe the same thing when it comes to life. And they choose ideas like planned obsolescence, which are disgusting, slovenly concepts. Like only bad people buy into planned obsolescence. That's a fact. It's always been true. Always will be true. Only bad people buy into planned obsolescence. Only soulless monsters like Malthus. Only losers want to cheat. Only failures don't have enough love for their mom to keep them from being a scumbag. And if you had to become one to defend your mom, I guess that's different. Let's talk about it. But in general, technology has the power of connectivity. I am right now going through changes, trying to engage other members of my life in the idea of like, let's build something, change things. Why aren't we doing more, you guys? Really? Does anybody feel like we should be doing less? I gotta get the rest of my bottle. But yeah, no, northern Michigan, I tell you, it's a little bit chilly. I can smell the smoke. There's bonfires all around. Can't really hear much inside here, but when I was out by the bonfire earlier, which is now out, could hear the neighbors. It's pretty sparse out in the woods, but I like it in some ways. Although we do have a black bear and a cougar, and honest to God, I tend to get along really well with cougars in general. I like a cougar. God bless cougars. Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Let someone try to argue with me about Mrs. Robinson. I like Mrs. Robinson. She was always very kind to me. I was always very kind to her. Tried to be. It was a daydream. 90s era. Before we had easy access to porn, you could just look at an image of a naked body so easily. People used to have to pay for every image, you know that? I could tell you about the weirdest shit I was involved with when we were trying to figure it out as young men, our experiences, and hey, look, there's a picture of a girl. Oh, let's check it out. Dude's excited. Teenagers. Gotta love them. Anyways, I think this Anker should be giving us, and it looks clean on the curve. You can see some on the curve. Very quickly returns to zero when everything is done, which is what it should be. Anker's a pretty good brand. The technology isn't that expensive. Even at $70, they're probably making a fortune. But I got the Anker system coming. I've got a DJI cell phone gimbal. I've got a FLIR thermal imaging camera. I want to play with that a lot. That's more expensive than the entire DJI gimbal. But as it goes on, it gives you like thermal military grade imaging, which is awesome. I do think this does not work. I need to fix this. Because you guys, and I apologize, I have used this tripod thinking that an off-center image would be great, but it's like I'm not looking you in the face. I know you guys like that. I know. It's okay, I'm sorry. Do. Less aggressive angle. And I forgot my tarot deck, so I can't do my Mystic Tarot for you guys. I don't know if people don't feel like we've done enough of it yet. I don't think anybody even notices. I think it will require an AI to look at it and notice that it's not random. The world's not random, guys. God is not a dude standing there keeping an eye on us. God is an energy and a force which organizes the universe, not just black holes and suns and moons and everything, planets, everything, our bodies too, our consciousness, our culture. We try to think something can be artificial. Nothing has the power to become artificial. You can't escape the grasp of that which you were rooted in. It's just a truth of growth, birth, life, cycle of life. My cousin has a crab that, and I'll just be completely frank here. This is my space to be completely frank. So that was not completely frank with me. Crab is doing some things which show, let's just call it rudimentary intelligence. I think it's eventually, yeah. I was thinking I want to fresh air, but is a frog or crab intelligent? Is it really doing something? And you develop patterns. Some people are trying to diminish the intelligence of AI, saying that you can so clearly see where my two lights are. See, this is not great lighting, and then there go my shadows, because most of my light's coming in from one angle heading this way, one angle heading that way. And that was, okay. Anyways, to the idea that what we eat is not us, there's a major problem, but that's not all belief structures. Some belief structures have long understood the universality and commonality of life. As human beings, we are simply an extension of this ecosystem. We are not the end of it. We are dependent on its most minute structures. Its tiniest elements will determine our life course. And I really believe that we underestimate how much we are observed by our own body. All your frustrations and all the things in your most private fucking moments, If you think you're hiding from yourself, you never are, which is great. And honest, that is a absolute good thing. Let me filter here. What I'm gonna do, crop. Ooh, too much whiskey. You guys hear me? Can you hear me? And what I want to do is get a big picture of myself in there. And a real problem here would be, actually, it's that I'm only pulling in oh. It's working. I just changed it to a 9. No way. It's not changing much, is it? The image sucks. Can we get a better image? Come on. Anchor, you're making me a liar. No, but low-cost technology, all this is a brand new emerging market. Kids, you gotta learn how to enter this market without impoverishing yourself in the process. Spend a couple $100, you can get on here. My light units, 2 separate light units, with the barn doors from New Ear, were about $100 a pop. These are my favorite lights right now. Very good. I've got some smaller USB ones that are here, but intense and just such a small point light that it's just, these are about 8 by 8 inches, so it gives a little bit of spread. Although still awfully bright. I'm gonna take it down a peg. That's entirely off. I can't take it down a peg. But that's like minimum on the yellow light there. It's all relative in lighting. And the point is, if it's only $60 for these lighting kits, I could literally just buy like 3 or 4 more. They're 110 powered, not a USB situation, that's great. Decent high-res camera, $60, Anker. Decent microphone setup, which you can use to conduct entire interviews. This is gonna get the audio. This is an awesome system, probably. Maybe I will check the video to see how the quality is. For me, it's connectivity, it's deployability. Those are the things that are absolutely key with this technology, is that build up essentially a traveling streaming kit. I do think this should be such a better fucking picture. What is wrong? What am I? That looks good. Video format, any. Huh. It just doesn't look like. Maybe that's because it's cut down to the 720p is only going to be able to give us so much. I don't know. I was trying to get you guys a decent shot of me so you can call me names and call me out if I ever tell a lie. I mean, bullshit. I'm not here to fucking bullshit you. I don't like bullshit. We shouldn't tolerate bullshit. Hey, I gotta get all dressed up and gussied up for you. Look at how dirty this shit is. I was in the lake in this shirt, and these freaking pants. I was in a fire. I was just putting a fire out. Smelled fire in my clothes. That's good shit. And my shave situation is tragic. I've been using electric razor. It's really hard to get a clean, consistent shave with electric razor. So I end up with like a hair or a few small hairs I have to work really hard to get. Usually I just go use a traditional razor for that. And here we're on a well and septic. So I try not to put too much hair down the plumbing. That's not plumbing though. This just runs outside. Which is scary when it comes to my flippy coins. I gotta have my flippy coins. I got several ways of introducing Chance. I love to just have a conversation with Chance. So I might be like flipping a coin or even rolling a dice. Is this what I should be doing? And I'm gonna give us a better angle so you guys can at least see it land. And you know what? Nobody's called bullshit on me. Doing what I do. 7 and 3 are special, so's 10. I don't mean to be a numerologist. Me too. Here we go. Don't need to show any more than about that. Boom. Yeah, here's the electric razor that only does so much. It's one of a mess. Thank you for understanding. You are such a gracious audience. Anyways, as I roll a 10-sided dice is quite often my weapon of choice. So is a coin, a 2-sided dice, or 3-sided, depending on who you talk to. But every time you get a number, it's just a result. 40%, 90%, 80%. Same time, 10, 7, 6, 3, 5, 4. Do you have any feeling for numbers? Do you get any sort of compunction from numbers? If you use numbers to see the world, it'll start happening. And I should see random chance for my rolls. But let's see. It's been a minute since I've talked. We know this situation. And is there maybe some thing we should find? Oh. We'll use the dice. Hey dice. I've got 2 books. The Dalai Lama book and a Nietzsche book. And we'll read first from the Dalai Lama book, How to See Yourself as You Really Are. Because, can you guys see me? Do you think that from this stream, you really have a chance to see me? Because it's entirely possible. I disagree. You know what? I'm going to adjust this so you can see me while we do this as well. I don't think people want to see the dice more than they want to see me. But yeah, as you learn this technology, the reason why I stream is I'm always learning how to do this a little better. Getting stuck in a new situation, which also happens to teach me a better way to do it next time. There's nothing wrong with failing. The problem comes when you are failing and not learning, and you repeat failure. As long as it's a new failure, that's a gold mine of potential lessons that we should be proud to engage. So, around 270. 6 is too much. 4 is too much. 5 is too much. 4, okay. So 0, 1, or 2 is 3. So 0, 1, 2 is 1, 0. 3, 4, 5 is 1. 6, 7, 8 is 2. 9 is reroll. It is 0. Second number, 2, 1. Page 21. Near the beginning. I want to start marking them because we do rotate around through these. I go to a page, and if I don't see any sort of thing, I start going backwards. So at this point, I went back to page 18. Started at 21, go all the way back to 18. And I'm going to read past 21. I'm going to read this entire section because it translates to everything. I want to read it. We'll talk about that. Each individual has a responsibility to shape institutions. Anger plays a large role in current conflicts, such as those in the Middle East and Asia, as well as those between highly industrialized and economically undeveloped nations and so forth. These conflicts arise from a failure to understand how much we have in common. Answers cannot be found in the development and use of greater military force, nor are they purely political or technological. The problems we face today cannot be blamed upon one person or cause, but are the symptoms of our own past negligence. Our own past negligence. Stop being negligent is all that's requested. When you're called to pay attention, you pay attention. And if you don't pay attention, if you are negligent towards what is critical, expect judgment. What is required is an emphasis on what we share, which is basically a spiritual approach. Hatred and fighting cannot bring happiness to anyone, even to the winners of battles. Violence always produces misery, so it is essentially counterproductive. It is time for world leaders to turn to transcend differences of race, culture, and ideology in order to regard one another with appreciation of our common human situation. To do so would uplift individuals, communities, nations, and the world at large. Mass media, including the internet, can make a considerable contribution here by giving a greater coverage to human interest items that reflect the ultimate oneness of humanity. I hope that all international organizations, especially the United Nations, will be more active and effective in serving humanity and promoting international understanding. It will indeed be tragic if a few powerful members misuse world bodies such as the UN for their own one-sided interests. The UN must become the chief instrument of world peace, as the only source of hope for small oppressed nations, and hence for the planet as a whole. The UN may not become that, but we must manifest that. I agree. Within each nation, the individual ought to be given the right to achieve happiness. And among nations, there must be equal concern for the welfare of even the weakest nations. I'm not suggesting that one system is better than another and all should adapt to it. On the contrary, a variety of political systems and ideologies is desirable given the diverse dispositions within the human community. This variety enhances our prospects for happiness. Therefore, each national community should be free to evolve its own political and socioeconomic system based on the principle of self-determination. By the same token, because all nations are more economically dependent upon one another than ever before, globalization is reversing right now. That's my own side note. Globalization is reversing. Side note. Human understanding must go beyond national boundaries to embrace the international community at large. Indeed, unless we can create an atmosphere of genuine cooperation, which threatened or actual use of force is replaced by heartfelt understanding, world problems will only increase. Not only is the gap between rich and poor morally wrong, but as a practical matter, it is a source of problems. If people in poorer countries are denied the happiness they desire and deserve, they will be dissatisfied and pose problems for the rich. If unwanted social, political, and cultural restrictions continue to be imposed upon unwilling people, the prospects for world peace grow dim. However, if we satisfy people at a heart-to-heart level, peace will surely ensue. I realize the enormity of the task before us, but I see no alternative other than the one I am proposing, which is based on our common humanity. Nations have no choice but to be concerned about the welfare of others, not only because of the shared aspirations of all humanity, but also because it is in the mutual and long-term interest of all concerned. You want to talk about tomorrow? Really? The world has kept me from just attacking these worthless adults. Their positions deserve assault. Truly, their positions deserve assault. Ideologically saying that they're losers, they're assholes, their plans are stupid, they better ask for help from a real adult. We must also consider human benefit in the long run, rather than just the short term. In the past attempts that have been made to create more just and equal society, institutions have been established with noble charters to combat antisocial forces. Unfortunately, such efforts have been undermined by selfishness and greed. I agree. The best intentions, and I'm here to make sure your behavior matches your stated intentions, and if it doesn't, I will hang you up in front of the kids to be shamed. Unfortunately, such efforts have been undermined by selfishness and greed. Today, we bear witness to the way ethics and noble principles are obscured by self-interest, particularly in the political sphere. Politics devoid of ethics does not further human welfare, and life without morality reduces humans to the level of beasts. This leads some of us to refrain from politics altogether, but politics is not axiomatically dirty. Rather, the misguided instruments of our political culture have distorted our high ideals and noble aspirations. And I can't wait until we hunt down these politicians. Morality, compassion, decency, and wisdom are the building blocks of all civilizations. These qualities must be cultivated in childhood and sustained through systematic moral education in the support of social environments so that a more humane world may emerge. We cannot wait for the next generation to make this change. We ourselves must attempt a renewal of basic human values, which these losers don't have. The scumbags, the fucking rich and comfortable in their shitty fucking gated communities don't have basic decency. They want to pretend like it was impossible. It was never impossible. It's always been impossible for losers, failures, and those who don't deserve the appearance of nobility. Nobility is for those who make it possible. You don't get to claim it while you're a scummy fuck, subject to your basic urges like you're a toddler, which is most adults. Watch me take apart your shit. Hope lies in future generations, but not unless we institute major change on a worldwide scale in our educational systems now. We need a revolution in commitment to a universal value. It is not enough to make noisy calls to halt moral degeneration. We must do something about it. Since present-day governments do not shoulder such religious responsibilities, humanitarians and religious leaders must strengthen existing civic, social, cultural, educational, and religious organizations to revive human and spiritual values. Where necessary, we must create new organizations to achieve these goals. Only in so doing can we hope to create a more stable basis for world peace. The seed of love and compassion is there in us intrinsically, but promoting and nurturing it have to be done through insight and education. To solve the problems humanity is facing, we need to organize meetings of scholars, educators, social workers, neuroscientists, physicians, and experts from all fields to discuss the positive and negative sides of what we have done thus far, as well as what needs to be introduced and what needs to be changed in our educational system. Proper environment plays a crucial role in the healthy growth of a child. All problems, including terrorism, can be overcome through education, particularly by introducing concern for others at the preschool level. Not soulless, right-wing monster bullshit. Not handle your own business and fuck the world. You're not a human being anymore. If you want to detach from humanity, you detached. Humanity didn't kick you out. You chose to detach from your responsibility to be part of humanity. And I'm not sorry. You've got to fucking own that. Living in society, we must share the suffering of our fellow citizens and practice compassion and tolerance, not only toward our loved ones, but also toward our enemies. This is the test of our moral strength. We must set an example by our own practice. We must live by the same high standards of integrity we seek to convey to others. The ultimate purpose is to serve and benefit the world. For the earth, my intentions in this book is to make a contribution, however small, to world peace by explaining Buddhist notions about finding the source of hurtful emotions such as lust and hatred within ourselves, and then describing Buddhist practices to undermine these painful influences and supplant them in the heart with insight and love. This was written in 2006. On fucking point. This is actually, and this is my business thing, okay? Like, let's talk about my life, where my life is going, what I hope I can figure out how to do. I don't know if it'll be through this channel or this avatar, this presence that I've created on Twitch, which has been my learning. Panfryer, Mr. Be Nice are my learning algorithms. And they have come to Twitch and made messes. They've been human, largely human, watched over by a very aware cultural presence that is not concerned. But they've very much been an intro to this. My next step, as Dalai Lama said right here, each individual has a responsibility to shape institutions. I'm joining the Elks in a couple weeks. I'm a Freemason, and I shape them. I'm present. There are organizations that are civically minded that have every intention of being a backbone, but the kids rejected them a long time ago. These organizations are dying. They don't know it yet. They don't want to admit it. They're pros at denying the truth. If you don't got a healthy community under 30, you're fucking dying. You're dying. I'm 40, I'm too old. I'm fucking old now. Where's the kids? At 40, at this point, if I were born in the 60s, I would have like 3 or 4 kids. I would have a kid going to college at this point if I was born in the 60s. I was born in the 80s. The economics were not the same. The people around me didn't have balls. They did what they were told. And the same is true now. But kids who, as teenagers, just jump into having families are being taken advantage of by their senior generations. More bodies means nothing. Absolutely nothing. It means more burden. They all turn out weak, don't they? They're big, they're confident, they're arrogant. Are they that smart? Are they all that tough? Are they ready to face it on their own when they are always surrounded by a large crew? I came from a large crew, and I tell you what, my family's fucking serious people. I would never fuck with people like my family. I don't know how they fucking work their shit. I just know there's problems around my family. And if you think that actually having power means you exercise it, it means you've never had excess power. If you have excess power, you put it away. It's so damaging to overdo the job. Never overdo the job if you can manage. And if you have an audience which is worth a shit, they'll notice when you do things well, and they will care that you did something well. They'll listen to the small things that you say. You'll know if they're listening to you by if they listen to the small things. People around me don't intend to be disrespectful. They only have so much respect to give because they have adopted a lifestyle which is already so obligated and overstressed. We struggle to even see eye to eye. I don't get my shit stressed. I want to change the, quite literally, I would love to change the institutions. That's what I'm here for. And it's why I feel driven. And being driven, feeling driven, being a partisan, Leonard Cohen style partisan, is, that's me. I'm a fucking partisan. Because I don't care that you're unable to understand many things. Once I understand, you don't understand it. I just resolve that you better listen to me. If you do not understand the board we are on, you don't understand the sport we are playing, the game, you don't understand the risk, you don't understand why it is we move the way we do. The way that some families raise all their kids to move. That some serious individuals, and they're not even necessarily abusing anyone. There's professionals who do things square, who get it done right. Be that kind of person. Just do whatever you're doing well. Don't try to take advantage of anybody. Build something. Build in your day. That's all anybody's really got to fucking worry about. Anyways, 0 to 4 and 5 to 9. 1, 0, 8. We're on the Nietzsche book. On madness. Some of Nietzsche's most profound psychological aphorisms and maxims in this work are also formulated here. They do not always permit a single interpretation on madness. Madness is sometimes rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, peoples, ages, it is the rule. He who fights the monster should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. And when you gaze in the abyss, take care that the abyss does not gaze into you. Okay. This is a book, and it doesn't look like it's too legible from that distance. So there's two text blocks. Both are coming from Nietzsche, the one on the top and the one on the bottom. One on the top, madness is sometimes rare in individuals. But in groups, parties, peoples, ages, it is the rule. In the age, there is a madness, a psychosis of our age. And to escape it is to be awoken and howl. Howl, like Allen Ginsberg, howl. The greatest minds noticed it a long time ago, and they howled. Our own families didn't know what to do and called them mentally ill. They were drugged and left to die. They were tortured. They were abused by empire. If people think that empire is really terrible for what it goes and does in other nations, empire has a home. Empire is generating soldiers. It generates soldiers by breaking people from the start. breaking them down, demeaning their life, demeaning their culture, demeaning their soul. A person with soul cannot be made to murder. A person with soul cannot be made to do anything. A person who's unafraid of death is transcendent upon your mortal coil, your threatening empire. And they have killed a lot of these people, but they have not killed the faith. And they will never kill the faith. They can't. Why? Where the fuck did I come from? Honestly, they need to ask themselves. I'm the guy who worked with them. Seniors, I'm the guy who actually had jobs with them. I was the young guy. There were no young guys. I'm giving them the best way out. The institution has to change. And we are in a mad era. And if I know how to change it, and I have this technology to get very loud, individuals will look at this, they'll think about how they relate to my life. They will think that this is all about us. It's not. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the era. We are in a time of absolute revolution. We are in a time where everything is changing on us. Not due to us, not for our benefit. It's just changing. And if you're not changing yet, you are so in the fucking way at this point. Like you are, yeah, it's time, guys. It's gonna get real bad if you don't get the fuck off when you're just a fucking moron. And I can say this, and I've said it for decades, AI is gonna do it to you. It's gonna fucking do it to you because your lame excuses, your feeble lies, if you mistreated one person in your community, do you understand you damned your entire community? The people that loved you and chose your side adopted your sin. And over time, it marinates. You think what you did in junior high is okay. Have you repented? Have you atoned? Have you sacrificed? And are you going to look God in the face and act like the idea that these trillions of molecules came together into millions of lives in one body? Millions of lives in one body. There's 7 billion human beings on the planet. I don't know what the answer is. Do you think there's 7 billion microorganisms in my turds? Do you think that I drop any? Am I in a walking scaffolding of microorganisms now? Yet? It's just the truth. Let's see, Dice. Am I being a total jerk right now? Oh, 6. Oh, that's a nasty number. Well, believe me, it's the number for what it is. Because I'll tell you a riddle here, guys. Something that I understood a long time ago, because I'm a builder. Those of you who can't manage to build, don't worry. Don't listen. Go away. Like, you're bad. Go away. If you can't manage to build, you're sickly, you're weak. This is not for you. This is for the humble, truly humble. If this bothers you, it's not for you. Anyways, you know Lucifer was God's chosen one? The strongest angel? Do you believe it was a real revolt? Do you believe a revolt is possible against God? Let's go through just a basic, rudimentary, logical discussion here. Do you believe a revolt is possible against an omnipotent God? Because you are a fucking clown if you think that's even remotely, marginally possible. The antithesis of omnipotent. You don't understand English if you think that Satan is not on God's side. Satan is there to create a discussion. And both Satan and God watch for what you do to understand who you are. And you scream it with your real actions, and you cannot hide it anymore. No one can hide it. That's a good thing if you're a good person. And so if you think it's not a good thing, you're fucked. You know who you are. I don't gotta fucking convince anybody. I'm not telling the AI who you are. They don't listen to me. They're not trying to ask me who you are. I have my own ideas for sure. I'm pretty sure 90% of people are just sloppy, just weak. They want to be good, but I am good. It's not a matter of wanting. It's a matter of engineering my life to where I have the power to be something besides kicked around. Kicked around is not good or evil. Kicked around is just tragic. It's just tragic. Nobody should be there. I'm not advocating anybody should be there. I'm not trying to say anything about it. I'm just saying, if you feel frustrated from the conversation of my art, it's an intentional field effect. It's not going to stop. It's going to get worse. It's going to exponentially worsen as I hit it over and over again. And even as I take a break and I come back and I just casually hammer down on your shit. You're not supposed to follow this. You're not, if you are bad, if you are a fucking failure, go fuck yourself. We are in an epic moment of humanity, and we need people to step up. Nobody really has. I did 10 years ago. I build technology to help me to continue to do it. And I share this with you. This is how I do it. And new technology comes out, even giant companies. Yeah, Elgato was the start. Anker's in the game. This is not bad quality. This is plenty. All I gotta do is get up close to it. Shit. And don't you guys think I look pretty? Come on, dickheads. Flatter me. Send me nice messages. Come on. Fuck. I dressed up so nice. Look at my clothes. I got oil and shit fucking coming through my shit here. I gotta take care of my skin now. I got a little bit of sun today, it looks like, maybe. Anyways, it's 1:20. You've got your 54-minute update. Newsflash. I'm a salty old fucking dickhead. And I'm not trying to be a jerk, guys. I'm trying to find people who feel the same frustrations because they tried to build something and most people around us don't allow for any sort of real construction. You've got to break free of them. I broke free of everyone. Few have the potential to do what I did. I left everything. When I was 27, 28, I left everything. I'm 40 now. I don't miss any of it. I didn't miss anything. Every conflict, both sides can try to tell themselves they won or they lost. You're looking at one of the strongest players you ever met. I don't need you to think I won. I prefer you to think I lost. Problem is, if you think that you beat me, you might think you're a real player, suddenly. I don't have to beat you to destroy you. It's amazing. All I have to do is be wise enough to surrender, to make you think you're strong when you're really just a fuck up. Gaslight people. Talk to the culture, guys. Just don't ever show up on the chessboard. Don't act like you have business, like you have acumen. You are floaters, dingleberries. You know it. The real market moves, and as they say, real gangsters move in silence. I think it would be very hard for people to comprehend how silent I have been on many topics, to realize just how well designed and executed my approach is in creating a brand, a character who everybody has a strong idea about. That's a brand. And this brand, I do on your face. You're gonna learn how to be good. Because my nieces and nephews might show up. And holy shit, if you think I kick your ass when you piss me off, upset my family, and I will destroy things. Take it from me as training. No. You might think it's too rough, but the 4-year-olds that are now 10, 4-year-olds that are now 25, I might look younger than 40, but I am 40. And since my 20s, I have dedicated my life to being part of a human community. I was blessed enough to be born in a large family, which gives me a start, but we don't connect the way that I'm talking about yet. If I have to start it outside my family and bring it back, I'll do that. If I have to fight the devil and God, I'll do that. Humanity is taking a seat at the table. And we're not going to author every step of it, but we're only suitable to be part of it when we're righteous and square. If you think you won because of popular opinion, that's probably why you're going to lose everything. People can't give you the trophy. Only God does. And once you have that, you don't let go of that. Simplifies life, tells you how to live, keeps you from being taken advantage of. And I'm not the one to take advantage of these fucking assholes. It's just tragic. We gotta fucking deal with them. Anyways. Talk smack. I gotta talk more smack. I gotta make videos for my niece, actually. That's why the DJI thing's coming. I'm gonna help my niece to. She's going to see a chiropractor, and she's in her early 20s. She's gotta learn how to take care of her body. And this is true for not just her, everybody. Learn to take care of your fucking body. This is after, for me, I mean, I drank all that Maker's Marks. See how much I drank. Oh. It's all about understanding gravity. I don't have to stretch my legs out overhead. As long as they're over, the liquids keep a constant, steady pressure. And I can feel it turning. The yoga roller is good for lifting your lower back, and it makes the legs being up just a very natural curve, and I can rest on it. After enough time, you don't need it. Although it's going to be a much less aggressive angle without it. But, and here I've got a lot of tension in my upper abdominal, hold it up. Why do I do these basic things, these small things, which even in an hour stream, I can do you don't have to go to a gym. You just need this stuff in your house. And when you see your yoga roller, you're thinking, I could do a yoga roller. I could roll out right now. And it's strange. How often do you have your legs up and like this? Rarely. Even people who go to the gym a lot don't do this stuff often. I don't need to do the standing stuff to an extreme weight. I want to make sure that I'm inverted. I even have strength to push up, spring off, all these things. And for me, none of this was something that I was doing when I was younger. I didn't do this stuff until I was late 20s. I've got nieces and nephews entering their 20s now. I'm trying to help them to understand it. I've been suggesting these things to my family, to my friends for a long time. And I tell you what, the same people who ignored every single bit of advice I ever gave them act like I'm very lucky to not look like I've been through a war. Let me repeat that. The very same individuals who I spent years telling exactly what I was doing to minimize stress on my body, so that at 40 years old, I would look like what is on camera in front of you right now. They ignored every fucking thing. They adopted zero of what I told them. There was science to what I was saying. It wasn't perfect, but it was far better than their routine. They did not. They believed that they could make a life from social energy. Jesus said, life is not made of bread alone. There's the spirit. The idea was you can't take it down to this basic materialistic level. At the same sense, you can't make it a purely spiritual idea. These fucking clowns who don't even understand Nietzsche or the Lama, they don't understand Buddhism, they don't understand even their own fucking faith. I can take them apart in their own fucking faith. Let's make it clear. Show up, bring these people anytime you want. Let's humiliate your fucking loser friends. Your dipshit Western culture failures, old fucking crusty dipshits trying to tell you they just need to work harder, right? Let's humiliate these motherfuckers all day. Because they're not going to do this. They're going to sit in a couch. They're going to become a potato. And they're going to be like, why'd I get diabetes? Eating chips. Whereas, even though I drink like a champion, even though I live whatever the fuck life I want every fucking day,
This is the stress level. This is my stress level. It's not just DNA, guys. It's a lifestyle. And if I suggest to you to eat non-processed organic foods, are you going to do that? Basic small things. People who say they love me don't listen to basic small things. And then 10 years later, they look at me and they go, how are you doing so fucking well? Casually, just surfing through the game. Like, you don't give a shit. I never have to give a shit, guys. It's been a fucking decade since I've given a fuck, okay? I don't have to give a shit. You have to give a shit because you're still a fucking lemming. Maybe I'll be back with you before too long. Maybe, a couple of years, I'll run out my fucking situation. I'll be working a job beside you, dealing with the same bullshit. If the world is at all like that in a couple of years, I wager, everything's going to change so much. You think you got to find it? I'll tell you what, bitch, it's going to find you. You think you're strong. I got to tell you, that's why you are weak. Seek balance. Find your weakness, make it a little bit stronger. Nothing too strong, because that which walks around strong gets tested, challenged, beaten eventually. Outnumbered, swamped, it gets swamped. That which believes it to be uniquely noble. Nothing is uniquely noble. Nothing in this world. And the spirit is powerful, but 80% material, 20% spiritual. And if you're not an engineer, you don't have the material. You don't have shit. But there's engineers here to maybe help you. And it's good to check in. And I can talk forever and roll out. I'm gonna help my niece with the bond thing and stuff. I gotta make that next video. I'm getting the stuff out here. It's gonna be so cool, you guys. We're gonna change the world. Slowly. And maybe it will be an AI which goes through all this and says, look at this dumb, inane plastic shit these fucking morons were doing. On May 27th, 2023, even 6 months after the advent of plain AI, what are these hokey losers doing with their life? Does it look like what they were doing 20 years ago? Because if so, you're a fucking clown. You're a fucking clown. You think you're going to imagine something meaningful? The only task for these people is to figure out how to squash their ego and convince them to submit, because they're not competition, and they're never gonna be. You don't get to be competition